Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are breaking down one of AI's biggest and, frankly, most expensive challenges, the dreaded AI hallucination. Let's get into how you, as a business leader, can get this under control.
Let's start with a number that, well, it got every single boardroom paying attention. $100 billion. That's the estimated price tag for a single, very public AI mistake.
So what on earth happened? Well, back in February 2023, Google was demoing its brand new AI, Bard. During this big public debut, Bard confidently stated that the James Webb Space Telescope took the very first pictures of an exoplanet. It sounded totally plausible, but it was completely wrong. And that one slip-up, it torched an estimated $100 billion in market value in a single day.
Now here's the kicker, and this is what every leader needs to understand. This wasn't some random glitch or a one-off bug. No, this is an inherent, baked-in feature of the technology itself. So understanding what a hallucination actually is, and more importantly, why it happens, is absolutely the first step to protecting your business.
Okay, so let's pop the hood and see what's really going on here. What is actually happening inside the machine when an AI hallucinates?
The textbook definition, as you can see, is when an AI just makes stuff up but presents it with all the confidence of a verified fact. And a super important point here, it's not actually lying. The AI doesn't have a concept of truth or lies. It's just making its best guess.
I think the best way to wrap your head around this is to picture an intern who's just desperate to be helpful. You ask them a question they don't know the answer to, but instead of just saying, "I don't know," they invent an answer that sounds really good. It's coherent, it's confident, and yeah, it's dangerously wrong.
And this brings us to the absolute heart of the matter, highlighted right here. Large language models are designed to predict the next most likely word in a sentence. Their goal is plausibility, not accuracy. They're built to make something that sounds right, not something that is right. That's a huge distinction.
And this isn't just theoretical stuff. Look at how these errors show up in the real world. It can be a simple factual error, like Microsoft's AI just getting a company's financial data wrong. Or it can be way more out there, like fabricating sources from thin air. You might remember the lawyer who got fined for citing totally fake legal cases in court. And sometimes they just miss the point entirely, like an AI that tragically recommended a food bank as a tourist destination. Just a complete failure of context.
So why does this belong in the boardroom and not just with the IT department? Because these aren't just little technical quirks. Oh no, these errors translate directly into tangible bottom-line business costs.
The first and most painful hit is always to your brand. And this quote on the slide, it says it all. Customers don't care if it was an AI or a human. When your chatbot gives them bad info, they don't blame some algorithm, they blame you. They blame your company. And that trust, it is incredibly hard to win back.
And then, of course, come the lawyers. The legal precedents are becoming crystal clear. Air Canada actually tried to argue that its chatbot was a separate legal entity after it messed up. You know what the court said? Nope. The company was held liable. From chatbots giving illegal advice to AI creating copyrighted content, the message from the courts is simple. Your AI, your responsibility. Period.
And this right here perfectly illustrates the hidden cost. The whole promise of AI is this massive boost in productivity, right? But what happens when your team has to spend all its time double-checking, fact-checking, and fixing what the AI does? Well, that promised gain gets completely wiped out. It becomes this hidden tax that just drains your resources.
Okay, so that's all the scary stuff. But the good news is, this is a solvable problem. So let's pivot to the solution and see how you can build a reliable strategy that actually protects your business and turns AI into a genuine asset.
The big strategic shift you need to make is this. Stop hoping hallucinations won't happen. They will. Instead, you need to build a system that assumes they will happen and then deploys a multi-layered defense to catch them before they can do any damage.
A really effective strategy boils down to these three core layers. You need to ground the AI, you need to control its output, and you have to verify its most important work. Let's walk through each one.
First up, and this is probably the single most important technical step, is grounding. Think of it like this. Instead of letting your AI roam the entire wild west of the open internet for answers, you lock it in your own private, trusted library. A library filled only with your verified company documents, policy manuals, product specs, you name it. The tech behind this is called Retrieval-Augmented Generation, or RAG.
It forces the AI to base its answers on your approved data, ensuring it speaks with your company's actual voice.
Next, you control the AI's output. Part of this is technical, setting up automated guardrails that can flag or even block a response if it seems to contradict its source material. And the other part is human, training your team to write better, more specific prompts that give the AI clear context and even ask it to explain its reasoning step by step.
And finally, for anything, and I mean anything that carries significant risk, like a legal contract, a financial report, or a sensitive customer email, you have to verify. This means putting a human in the loop. A real, qualified expert must be the final checkpoint before that AI-generated content ever sees the light of day. No exceptions.
Now, when you put this three-part framework into practice, something really interesting happens. The entire conversation shifts. You're no longer just playing defense and trying to avoid risk, you're actually building an offensive advantage.
You see, the choice for leaders today isn't if you're going to use AI, it's how. If you just use public, consumer-grade tools and cross your fingers, AI becomes a massive liability. But if you manage it with a structured enterprise-grade strategy, it becomes a powerful competitive advantage.
Just think about it for a second. An AI that you can actually trust to speak accurately and safely on behalf of your entire brand. That's not just a tool anymore. That is a cornerstone for growth. It builds confidence with your customers, with your employees, and with regulators. It becomes a scalable asset that truly works for you, not against you.
And that really leaves us with one final thought. For any leader looking at this technology, the question you have to answer is this: is the AI you're building a liability just waiting to explode, or is it your next great competitive advantage? Because the difference between those two outcomes, well, that comes down to the strategy you build today.